Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I wanted to do another Q&A video. Thank you guys so much for posting all of your questions on the Discord. If you do want to take part in these Q&As, definitely go follow me on the Discord. I do them like once a week, usually every Wednesday, but I wanted to wait with this one until today because it's December 1st, and what's exciting about that is it really feels like, at least for me personally, like it's sort of a new era now, right? Like it really felt like after The Walking Dead ended on November 20th, the next 10 days were just sort of, you know, reaction to the finale and stuff. But now I'm really excited to focus on the future and stuff like that, because there's a lot here to be really excited about. Because it is officially December, next month, the Rick and Michonne television show is actually going to be beginning filming, which is very, very exciting. I'm very hyped for that. Also, next month is The Last of Us too, so I'm excited about that. But with the Rick and Michonne show, that's going to be a lot of fun right now. And I've actually been seeing some people post some stuff online. I've been seeing people tag me and stuff on Twitter. At Andy Lincoln News apparently posted something that Andrew Lincoln was in New Jersey or something like that. So I don't know if that's really related to the Rick and Michonne series in terms of filming, but it could be related in terms of pre-production stuff and just things regarding like meetings and all that, right? So I don't know. It's exciting though, I'll say that. It's definitely very exciting. I really can't wait. I mean, honestly, if you really think about it, all year we've been waiting for this, right? Like we were waiting for the last 8 episodes of The Walking Dead really for any Rick mention, Rick news. I mean, to see him, just to see what they would do with the ending. And we were just kind of waiting all year. And I say this because at Comic-Con last summer, you know, there was 2 things that happened, obviously. There was the Rick and Michonne news, and then there was The Walking Dead The Walking Dead Season 11 Part 3 trailer. And from those 2 things, the most exciting thing was the Rick and Michonne news, right? So I'm very hyped for this. I do think 2023 is going to be a very, very big year for The Walking Dead. It's going to be a pretty massive year. And then a big question, I guess, really going into next summer, really going into, I guess, the Rick and Michonne series at all, kind of is it getting renewed for season 2? What's happening with that, right? Because it is a limited series. I see people saying it's a mini series. I definitely think that's the wrong term for it. It is more of a limited series. Like that's sort of what's been out there. And EW confirmed that, you know, it's the first season of a continuing series. You know, I've been seeing comicbook.com saying it's the first season of a continuing series. The first season premieres next year in 2023. It's just beginning with 6 episodes. But I think the thing about this is I do wonder if it's going to be more of a show that comes out just like, you know, here and there. So maybe it's not going to be a yearly thing. Every October we get the Rick and Michonne show, right? Maybe the next time we see Rick and Michonne is early 2025, right? Like maybe they take some time off or whatever, and it's more of like a limited series in that way. It's just like these chapters they put together, this sort of overall story, right? I can see them doing something like that. And to me, that's exciting. But anyways, yeah, that's going to be a question going into next year. The reason why I'm kind of rambling here is because it's December 1st, and I'm just very excited for the future. But let's actually get into these questions here. So obviously, before going any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. But the first question, if you were offered to play a fast and dangerous new variant walker in the Rick and Michonne spinoff, would you take it? Oh yeah, if I was ever offered a role as like a walker, if I could just be a zombie or something like that, I would totally do it immediately. That would be honestly a dream come true, to actually be a zombie on The Walking Dead. You know, that'd be really crazy. I guess technically not the original show, but just on anything Walking Dead related. Man, I would love that. Even Fear the Walking Dead, honestly, anything like that, that'd be the craziest thing ever. Q&A, how do you think Maggie and Negan reunite? This is an interesting question, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm really excited to talk about now, because a lot of us have been focusing on like how are the spinoffs going to happen, or how will they be set up, and things like that. But I kind of want to talk about more specifics, right? So in terms of that show, how are these 2 characters going to reunite and I guess be together here, right? I mean, I think the way it's probably going to play out is Maggie has to do something, but she needs his help. I think that could be what it is here. I'm trying to think of how else it could play out. I don't see them both just being friends and going out and doing stuff like that. Like Maggie even said in the finale, like, if I can't look at you some days, if all of a sudden you notice that I'm sort of avoiding you or this and that, you know, like, you know why. It's because of what you did to Glenn, and I can never forgive you for it, basically. I understand that you're a different person, but you have to understand why I can never forgive you for it. So to me, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like they'll be civil towards one another, and maybe some days will be good, right? But there's going to be those times where, you know, she's having a hard time. She's thinking of Glenn. She might see him walking around and she might get annoyed by that. And you know, there's going to be some issues there. There's definitely a lot of tension there. And those things will never, ever go away. So in terms of them reuniting and having this show together, it's really going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think it's going to be one of those things, though, where Maggie needs him for something, right? Like she needs somebody to help, and he's really the best person to do that, right? And so it really depends on the overall goal here and why they're going there. But that is something that we are going to find out probably next month or the month after. Like we're going to find that out in the trailer. We're going to know more of the direction and the plot of this spinoff definitely before the show comes out. Just because obviously when they release the full trailer, we're going to see scenes from it. There's going to be dialogue and there's going to be a whole plot that's sort of laid out, right, for the show, at least going into that first episode. Q&A, do you think there's a possibility we see some World Beyond characters, especially Silas, since it looks like Rick had the same job he did based on the jacket and weapon he was using? I don't know if we're going to see some World Beyond characters. Well, actually, I think there is a chance. I don't know about Silas, though, and the reason why is because I think there's multiple places there, and also we saw Silas there the entire time, right? Like, we saw what Silas was doing when he was there, and Rick wasn't there during that time. So, you know, Rick was doing that originally. I don't know what Rick's up to nowadays, right? Because remember that scene in the finale, that was Rick maybe a year, 2, 3 years or something, you know, after he left, after he was taken away by Jadis. It's been several years from that point. It's been like I mean, I guess it's been about 3 to 5 years since then. So it's, you know, I have no idea what Rick's up to. In terms of seeing World Beyond characters, though, you know, there's a good chance of seeing Elizabeth Kublek, I would say. You know, she's a character that has a pretty close relationship, I would say, with Jadis. They know Major General Beale. I think there's a really good chance we could see her again, for sure. What are you most excited to see in each spinoff? Well, I guess very quick. With the Maggie and Negan spinoff, I think the most exciting thing there probably is the plot, I would say. I just really want to see what the plot is going to be. And also they're in New York, you know, I want to see the Statue of Liberty. I want to know what that's like. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of things that I'm really excited about in that show. I guess it's mostly those two things, though, I would say, is the plot and I guess the visuals of being in New York City. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. In terms of the Daryl spinoff, that one there is the plot as well. I'm very excited about the plot. And mostly, I mean, I guess it's really just that and the variant walkers, right? Because those walkers are going to be very aggressive and running. It's going to be a lot of fun. That show there is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And then with the Rick and Michonne show, I think it really is just seeing those two characters again, sort of interacting and having them involved in a story and watching a story with those characters. It's been a while, but I miss those characters. I miss them being involved in a Walking Dead, you know, show and just watching the episode. And after episode 1, being excited for episode 2 and stuff like that, you know, so definitely that is definitely a big thing. So yeah, I think that would probably be the things I'm most excited about for like each spinoff. Q&A, how are their messages reaching the group back home? Well, I don't know if their messages are reaching the group back home. I'm guessing you're referencing Rick and Michonne, right? I don't think their messages are reaching back home. I think Michonne is sending some stuff out, but I don't know if anyone's getting it. I know Judith got a letter at the very end there, but I'm pretty sure that was from Negan. It wasn't from Michonne. It wasn't from Rick. You know, obviously no one knows anything about Rick right now. And Rick, he just sent some stuff, I think, in the phone. And that's the thing. I've been seeing some people talk about this. I don't know if it was an article that posted this and it was a theory, but I would like to talk about that. I'll definitely have to do a video on that. But there's an idea that there could be something in the phone, or maybe you need to charge the phone, like turn the phone on, because maybe there's actually something on the phone that Rick put on there. That to me is just like super crazy and exciting to think about. So yeah, there could be something there. But in terms of their messages reaching back home, I don't think anyone's really getting them right now. Q&A, do you think Rick and Madison will meet during one of the spinoffs? I don't know about that. I mean, I could see it if Morgan goes on to the Rick and Michonne show, if they get a season 2 and they end for The Walking Dead after season 8 or season 9. But I don't know about that specifically. That's kind of hard. I will say that's kind of the most exciting thing about those spinoffs, though, is the fact that you could have other characters show up there. You know, there's been some talk. Well, I guess not really some talk, but I did see that interaction between, you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Alicia Dednam Carey of, you know, Alicia maybe joining Dead City. I would love that. Like, could you imagine having Alicia a part of Dead City? You know, being a main character with Maggie and Negan? I think that would be crazy. I mean, people would be very, very excited about that. And honestly, I think that's what they need to start doing right now. They need to start having a lot more crossovers here, building these shows up a lot. You're going to have people really excited for that. Like, you know, that's the stage that The Walking Dead is really at right now. You ended the main show. Now you have spin-offs with these characters everywhere. Now is the time to do crossovers, and you should be doing it like literally every season. I understand with the first seasons of these shows here, maybe not doing it immediately because you kind of want to establish some stuff, but maybe as cliffhangers, you know, at the end of the season for each of these shows. I think it's very important. Like, this is where you want to get people very excited. You definitely have to do something like that. How do you feel about them retconning all that character development that Negan has been through? I mean, I don't really view it as retconning. I really think, I mean, it's been a couple of years. You could say it's retconning, but I just kind of view it as, you know, they want to make the character more exciting. There's gonna be stuff there. Like, I think the way it's sort of worded is more of like, they've had that moment, it's still there, but like, obviously Negan is Negan, right? Like, he is who he is for a reason. So those things are going to start to show up, especially when things get really hard, especially if Maggie might be trying to do something that maybe kills him or something like that, right? Or might kill him. So I don't see a really big issue here. I just really don't. I don't really think there's an issue at all here. Q&A, why do you think Rick was kept alive by the CRM other than plot armor, lol? Well, I guess they're going to have to come up with a really good reason for that. I think it's going to be something that Jadis has said to them, really. I think that they're going to see something really valuable in Rick as well, you know, in terms of just who he is as a person. Because you see who he is as a person. He's a very strong leader. If they can get him on their side, it makes them better. It makes them stronger. And killing him, I think, is just, you know, there's no point in doing that. I do think the CRM, you know, a lot like the Saviors, they view people as resources. That's sort of why they do what they do with the A and B situation, right? So I think that's the reason why. And that's also something that's kind of exciting, too, about the Rick and Michonne show. You know, we're going to learn a lot more plot details, most likely next summer. There could be some stuff that comes out over the next couple of months as well. But we're going to know a lot more specifics about that show regarding the plot with the CRM, right? Q&A, what do you think Daryl's reaction will be like to the fast variants of walkers? Well, I mean, he's probably gonna, yeah, he'll definitely freak out and he'll start running. I mean, it'll probably be a lot like his reaction was in season 9, episode 8, right? Like, if you remember that episode, he just seemed so confused and he was kind of shocked just seeing the walkers not come towards him when he was making all that noise. They were just like choosing to go in this direction. And he was just really, really stunned at that. Like, why is that happening? Like, something's changed here. So it's going to be something like that, right? Definitely. I mean, if you think about it, there were variant walkers in that final episode, in episode 23, but he never really dealt with it. He was sort of dealing with, you know, what just happened to Judith. So yeah, the variant walker thing is definitely going to be a pretty big shock when he actually deals with that in France. I mean, I think in general, he's going to be probably stunned anyways because of what's happening to him. Like, he's literally waking up in France. So Q&A, how do you think they will handle the timeline with these future shows? Since it seems like the Daryl show is taking place after the finale and Dead City takes place years after the finale. Well, we don't know that specifically with the Daryl show. Like, if you actually look at the Daryl show, I mean, really, like, at the very, first of all, at the very end there in the finale of The Walking Dead, Daryl, at that point, like, they jumped forward a year later, he was already looking for signs of Rick and Michonne out there, right, for months and months, and they could literally do that again, where it's been a couple of months, or it's been maybe a year or two, and then something happens. So I think they'll probably handle it, you know, the best they can, really. I don't think there's going to be anything too crazy there. If they want to do a time jump, they'll just do a time jump to catch up the timelines if they ever want to reunite those characters. So yeah, to me, I don't really view it as anything that crazy. So Q&A, do you think we'll see more of the Civic Republic as a whole as opposed to just the military? You know what? That's a really good question. I would actually really love to see a lot more of the Civic Republic because we always just see the military part of it, right? And I do think the military part of the Civic Republic is the more evil side to it. Though I do wonder, like, is there any good in the Civic Republic? It is kind of hard to say. I don't know how the whole place is run. I think we're going to get that, though. I definitely think we could get that with the Rick and Michonne series. It makes sense that we could get into a lot of that. The military is definitely going to be a very big part of it. There's a reason why Major General Beale, you know, is sort of as powerful as he is. So I think that, yeah, I think the whole place is, for the most part, you know, run by the military. And so we could see a lot of examples of that just, you know, throughout the Civic Republic in general. And yeah, that's a really good question, actually. I hope we do. Q&A, what spinoff do you want to happen but hasn't been announced yet? What spinoff do I want to happen? Well, I guess if anything, I would like there to be a limited series or something with the governor. I think that would be really cool. I know they want to do something with Tales, you know, if Tales does get renewed ever. And, you know, they want to get some more original actors from like season 3 and stuff like that back on the show. I think that could work. I just don't know with Tales of the Walking Dead. You know, it was definitely it was an interesting experiment. I think there should have been a lot more of like season 3 characters and just characters that have passed away on the show, or you know what I mean? There was a lot that you could have done there, but they only brought Alpha back. So to me, I just think, you know, I would love it if they did just like a Governor limited series thing, 6 episodes. I think that would be really awesome. Q&A, do you think Carol is more likely to return in season 2 of the Daryl spinoff? Yeah, I do. I think it's probably going to be a season 2 thing for sure. I think it would be really cool if she showed up at the end of season 1 as like a cliffhanger or like a post-credit scene. That would be a lot of fun. For season 2, yeah, definitely. I can see Carol definitely returning. So that probably would be in 2024, right? Q&A, have you ever heard of the new Walking Dead VR game, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution? I think I heard of that. I heard of something new coming out with The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. I did play that. It was actually a lot of fun. The game is definitely pretty difficult, and I think it's just because it's VR, and it was just, or maybe it was because I was streaming it, but that was definitely, it was hard to stream it because I had to talk into the mic. Yeah, and plus I kept dying because I couldn't climb up the wall and the walkers kept coming at me. But yeah, definitely, it was a fun game though. Q&A, do you think at the end of all the spinoffs, a major character will die, like Negan, Maggie, Rick, Michonne, Daryl, etc.? Well, probably, yeah. Like these spinoffs are definitely going to end the character stories. There's going to be some major deaths here. Obviously not in the first season, but after a couple of seasons, you know, once they actually wrap everything up, definitely. Q&A, when do you think everyone would reunite? Probably in season 2 of, well, I don't know about season 2. Season 2 is a little bit too early. I don't think it's going to be that. If anything, all of our characters are probably going to reunite once the story starts to really build up with some of the Civic Republic stuff here. I think what they're trying to do is really just like build up these spinoffs here and get them going. So next year is going to be really focused on, let's get these shows out there, let's establish the story here, and then get people really excited about this, and then we can start to see more crossovers and just what the overall plan is going to be. So, you know, I don't see that happening in season 2. Like, nothing ever has happened that fast for The Walking Dead, right? That's going to be something that, like, if they can, they'll give us in season 5, right? Like, if they can somehow get 5, 6, even 8 seasons out of all these shows here, they're going to do that. I don't see it going that long, like, you know, for myself personally. I think it's probably going to be 3 to 4 seasons, but I don't think season 2. I think that's a little too soon. Q&A for the Rick and Michonne spinoff. What do you think about the song for the title sequence being Space Junk? Or do you think the spinoff and the other spinoffs will get original songs like the main show? I don't know what they're planning to do with that, but I think for the Rick and Michonne show, they might just go back to the Walking Dead main theme. The other shows might have something different. But I think for the Rick and Michonne show, they literally might go back to the Walking Dead main theme. It might be changed up a little bit, but I think you might have hints of it there just because it's Rick Grimes, right? Like Rick is there, so it's like, it's kind of his song, I would say. So I think they might do that. But honestly, if they wanted to use Space Junk, I think that'd be really cool. I would like it if they could use that song a lot more. I mean, that was just a really awesome ending there with the song, you know, in Rick's final episode. So yeah, I think that'd be really cool. But I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.